Welcome you guys back to TFT School. As you know, patch 10.8 of TFT Set 3 has officially been revealed with many new and insanely incredible things within. And as usual, we would like to send to you in details of this update. Let's see how will the game change after this modification. Stick with us till the end because this information is very important if you want to stay in high rank. Shall we begin? Riot always knows how to surprise their players, and this time, with a new face joined the TFT family, one more time they succeeded. Serath, Darkstar Sorcerer, is the new champion who costs 5 gold, will appear in the game once patch 10.8 launched. Let's take a look at his statistic and skill. Ability: Abyssal Bombardment. Serath transforms summoning meteors to strike random foes in place of his normal attacks for 6 seconds, and when has 3 star, Serath will attack for 45 seconds. Meteors deal magic damage upon impact, and if they kill their target, all adjacent enemy takes 50% base magic damage and are stunned for 1.5 seconds. So overall, Serath has basic damage attack, not really impressive, and he is way fragile due to his low health and low armor. As a result, Serath is more appropriate to be a backline champion. But in contrast to that, his attack speed is pretty good with 0.9, so it's an amazing idea to merge him with a Chrono, which just been buffed in the last patch, as the faster he can attack, the quicker he can use his ability. His ultimate skill targets are random, which means he has no weighted targets, and the meteors will not hit just one enemies over and over, but all individuals within the team. And once he killed an enemy using his skill, instantaneously all enemies beside will receive a shock, which makes them stunned for 1.5 seconds. He's a good champion to counter Rebel, when Rebel trait requires them to stay close or a group of champions stand next to each other. Moving on, as promised, this 10.8 patch comes with 2 brand new galaxies, whose name Trade Sectors and Superdense Galaxy. More things for you to play around. About the Trade Sector, you now have 1 free reroll for each turn, but unfortunately to those who wants to play hyper roll strategy, cause free rerolls cannot be saved up. With Trade Sector, you will get more opportunity getting champions you need to complete team or rank them up. Next is Superdense Galaxy. The name already told you that this galaxy is right. The name already told you what this galaxy is, right? Once reaching level 5, you will get a free Force of Nature. Oh my god, unbelievable, right? With a good dignity, you can fulfill your team easier and earlier than other players, who say you cannot get more than 10 units. Time to smash them. Coming up next is the system changes. They are huge, so pay attention carefully. We have 4 big changes to break down and analyze. Win streak. We had a video which showed you how to make the most out of the win streak, but as people can gather coins and reach 50 pretty easily, so in the next video, the streak will be decreased. To be more specific, if before you can get 1, 2 or 3 gold respectively after 2, 3 or 4 victories, now you can only get 1 coins after 2 to 3 wins, 2 after 4 and 3 after 5. Which means you cannot collect as many as usual with the win streak strategy. Stage player damage lowered about late game. Champions player damage increased on late game. This is 2 big modifications. With these change, you now even have to consider even more carefully than before. By decreasing stage player damage, you will probably survive longer in the game even if you choose to lose your health to get good items. The idea is to shift the damage from the base into the units, so you can calculate how much and how long you want to lose. Champions player damage went up but no longer double after 5. But overall, it means that you win a lot, you can do a massive damage rate. Special carousels happen less often, and new special carousel added. Personally speaking, these updates can even change the meta. The time for each battle will be much longer, especially when you fall in Medium Legends Galaxy. More things to play, but play wisely and don't make your game experience become an entire mess. Even the change in the win streak, but I'm sure that Hyper Roll can still be a good strategy and fluctuate over the period. About the trait reworks changes balance. First of all, we need to talk about changes in mech pilot. From 100% of pilot's HP, now it's only 1800 plus 50% of pilot's HP, and spell damage lowered. What does these statistics mean? As you can see, now mech is no longer as tanky as before, as his HP decreased. It does not affect mech much when he's still at level 3 to 5. It's even a buff when at level 3. Mech now receive 750 more health, 510 at level 4 and 190 at level 5. But after level 9, it showed a dramatically fall in his HP when losing approximately 1602 HP, no longer a freaking giant. The spell damage of mech decreased at level 7 and 8, but maintained still at level 9 with 5000. This changed a straight nerf to mech pilots, especially when he gets higher rank. Our giant Garen will no longer as tough as before, as he loses nearly 2000 HP at level 9 and 1100/530 at level 8 and 7. But I'm sure that many players will feel really happy cause mech is no longer be a pain in the ass for them. Secondly, chase traits. There are some new levels for several traits added in the game. 9. Blade Master, 100% to trigger. 9. Dark Stars, increase 45 damage and spell power for each ally's Dark Stars passed away. 6. Infiltrator, 125% bonus attack speed, refresh on takedown. 6. Protector, 45% maximum health shield. 9. Rebel, 350 shield and 50% damage. 8. Sorcerer, 125 spell power. There is a high possibility that Darkstar will be hot pick in this version due to the new appearance of Serat. Darkstar will become really powerful once they reach 9 Darkstar units. Insane, right? Even though these chase traits are hard to get, but after all, they are really fun to play around, so good luck when testing them. Show us how do you feel then. We are excited to hear. Last, trait balance. Celestial 15%/30%/60% to 15%/40%/75%. Healing on spell/attack damage. Mercenary, added visualization to see how many upgrades they have. Space Pirates, 15% increase to 20% to spawn an item at 4 piece. Cybernetic, to 350 and 35/750 and 75 HP and attack damage. Sorcerer, 20/40/80% to 20/45/80% spell power to entire team. Patch 10.7 showed Reign of Cybernetic, so a nerf is probably a good way to balance them once they gather enough 6 units. What interesting here is Celestial, 75% healing per attack or spell. It's a massive amount of blood recovering. With an updated for Xinjiao in 10.7, I'm pretty sure that he's even stronger in 10.8, and the Protector's Celestial comp will be more preferable. That must be enough about the changes in gameplay and traits. What about champions? Who gets buff and who gets nerfed? You don't have to wait any longer because we'll bring them up right now. Tier 1 champions. Overall, this is a dope update for Caitlyn, Zoe, and Zaya. They will become hot pick in this meta, I can be 100% sure about that. You now can experience Caitlyn one shot, sleep like forever in Zoe's bubble, and get killed while dreaming or tear into pieces under Zaya's feathers. Tier 1 Champions. So once more, an incredible buff to these champions, except Lucian, as he already too strong, so a little nerf is appropriate. This time, Darius even gets stronger with lower mana cost. He now will be able to chop his enemies into two faster and make them feel what is fear. As Annie's main role is a tanker and now she gets tougher, she's gonna be a decent unit in Sorcerer, Mech Pilot, or any team comp that merges with her. Shen with his dodge for not only himself but also for his allies. Become longer, he's gonna be a good choice to counter Blaster and Ranger, as they mostly depends on normal attacks. Now, not only Shen can fulfill his purposes in early game, but still useful in mid and late game. In my point, these changes bring so many good opportunities to Shen, Darius, and Annie, or any comps that can go along with them, such as Blade Masters or Mech Pilot, etc., as they are now more effective and they can even change the entire match result. Tier 3 Champions. Pray for Shaco, who has the biggest power decrease this time when minus 50% damage at 3 stars, which makes Shaco 3 stars now no longer one-hit enemies. It seems so anxious to who loves him, but I'm sure it's even a good news to players who hate this freaking clown after patch 10.7. Syndra got a pretty critical buff when her range for ability went up for 130 range, which means she will be a real threat to low HP units when she can stay safely in the backline but still available to blow enemies instantly. An overkilling machine. Tier 4 Champions. These changes are pretty crazy when increasing units' spell damage when reaching 3 stars to a completely new level. I will hold firmly to the opinion that this change is not a nerf to Fizz. His HP decreased, but that's a nerf for Mech. It does not affect Fizz much. On the other hand, his attack speed increases, which will work impressively with Infiltrator trait and create a high amount of damage. Besides, Jinx with her buff this time, even it is just light, but it will help her a lot in general when combining with Blasters or Rebels, as her skill requires Jinx to slaughter 2 units to turn on, so this buff will fix her underperforming recently. Moreover, Soraka and Wukong, 2 champions who get a slight change at rank 1 and 2, but dramatically at rank 3, when Soraka can heal up to 20,000 HP. And for Wukong, it's 4,000. Just one thing about Wukong, 4,000 is the total damage when just stays in one position, but normally he spin his rod and move around, so some can be missed, so this is a safe buff for him. Lastly, Vel'Koz. I don't feel like this is a nerf to him, as his AI fixed and now he can cast most effectively on smaller group of enemies, so decreasing 0.5 seconds sounds like fair. It's even a buff for this Void Octopus. Aurelion Sol. Increase from 950 to 1100 HP and increase from 30 armor to 35. This buff will allow him to be more tough, tanky, so you can put him at the front line, become a real starship. Which starship not tough? We just passed through all changes about generals in TFT patch 10.8. But what's more exciting is the updates in items which Riot not usually do. So let's start. Chalice of Favor now gives mana to wearer also. Frozen Heart, increase from 40 to 50% attack speed slow. Rapid Fire Cannon, increased from 100% to 200% bonus range, and now displays as a visual beam on attack when increasing the range of low-range champions. Shroud of Stillness, increased from 1 hex to 1.5 hex width. Zeke's Herald, 2 hexes to 1 hex on each side and increased from 18% to 30% attack speed. Tear of Goddess, lowered from 20 to 15 mana and all completed items adjusted. So in my opinion, items are updated in a positive way this time. About Chalice of Favor, it now makes sense, cause why the use of Get Nothing but her allies? It doesn't make sense at all, so this change really satisfied me. Deathblade, yeah, no longer start with 2 stacks, but now each stack give 15 more AD damage, so I'm sure that it's a massive amount of damage. Rapid Fire Cannon, not much to say, but now it's gonna be so fun to play around. You can have like Master Yi or Super Range Jin, Ashe. Shroud of Stillness, easier to use when the width is widened. And the Zeke's Herald, no longer have slot for a group of 5 but now only 3, but gives higher attack speed bonus. It can go along quite well with rangers or infiltrators, as they need to attack fast to activate their ultimate skill. And that's all about 10.8 patch. Included some of my opinion. I hold firmly to the point that this patch is pretty impressive, especially to the change in gameplay. It can literally change the entire current meta we are playing. What do you think about it? Leave your thought in the comment down below, and don't forget to hit like, share, as well as subscribe to give us more motivation to create such content. Click the bell so you will not miss any video from us. That's all about it. See you guys in the next video.